The kill team Crimson Carapace advanced cautiously, their footsteps echoing ominously through the gloom of the station's warehouse. Brother Nersus Ged crouched to examine the floor, his sharp eyes tracing tracks in faint ash dust and grime. "They've passed this way," he murmured, nodding toward the gathering hall. Brother Sergeant Castor Domitius raised his relic blade, its power field crackling in anticipation. "Stay vigilant, brothers," he warned, his voice steady yet somber. "Our foes have already shown their treachery." Entering the gathering hall, the air thickened with the scent of decay and dark sorcery. Two towering Chaos Terminators stood like sentinels, their armor defiled with blasphemous runes. The ensuing battle was brutal, the Terminators unleashing torrents of devastating fire. But the kill team was resolute. Brother Sarpenthis roared with righteous fury, his immense frame smashing into the nearest Terminator, Eviscerator tearing through corrupted ceramite. Aryan Dusk channeled warp energies, his eyes ablaze, smiting the second with blinding psychic light, while precise shots from Nersus and Lucas Danit's master-crafted plasma pistol found their marks, taking down one of them. Castor's blade swung decisively, bringing the other heretic to ruin. Pressing northward into the infirmary, an even darker tableau awaited them. Amidst desecrated medici equipment stood Masintos, the Chaos Sorcerer, his lips whispering foul incantations. Beside him were three pink horrors, one larger and adorned with ornate markings. Flanking these warp spawns stood two Chaos Space Marines and two possessed Astartes, twisted mockeries of their former selves. Upon the floor lay the battered form of Brother Corporal Varian, an absolver from Sergeant Hoffnill's kill team, unconscious but breathing. The clash erupted instantly. Sarpenthis and Castor charged the possessed, their weapons a blur of death and vengeance. Arian conjured a smite, obliterating a pink horror in a violent burst, splattering warp ichor across the infirmary walls. Nersus, ever calm amidst chaos, sighted down his sniper rifle and fired, striking the ornate horror squarely. Yet, instead of splitting into smaller horrors, as the others had, the beast merely smirked maliciously at Masintos before vanishing. Masintos screamed in rage, his eyes bulging with fury. Tech Marine Incendax and Sergeant Hoffnill fell under concentrated fire, grievously wounded but alive. Luque swiftly attended to Incendax, stabilizing the Tech Marine with precise medical expertise. As soon as Incendax regained consciousness, he immediately set about repairing the infirmary's dormant healing servitors, which sprang to life to further aid the wounded. Castor and Arian fought ferociously alongside Nersus and Lucis, finally striking down the remaining horrors and traitorous Astartes. Sarpenthis, bloodied and relentless, surged towards Masintos, his weapon cleaving deep into the sorcerer's corrupted flesh. Masintos, critically wounded and desperate, clutched a sinister artifact, vanishing in a warp-infused flash. Breathing heavily, the kill team regrouped. Castor pleaded with Sergeant Hoffnill and his injured warriors to remain behind to recover, but Hoffnill, stern and unyielding, drew Castor aside. "We cannot allow Iscarius to reach the station's vault," Hoffnill whispered fiercely, gripping Castor's pauldron. "He seeks to disable the defense fields by sabotaging the power generators." The kill team moved swiftly, retracing their steps through the gathering hall and confronting the sealed doors of the power distribution center. Locked out and frustrated, Castor gestured decisively toward the data center. "We shall take the long path, brothers," Castor commanded, voice firm and unwavering. "Whatever dark purpose drives Iscarius, we will see it thwarted. For the Emperor." As the team breached the doorway to the data center, the sight before them was a grim tableau of imminent violence. 5 hulking Chaos Terminators stood menacingly amid the glow of cogitator screens. one poised with lightning claws ready to execute two terrified Absolver scouts who lay battered by the terminals. At the chamber's far end, in the dimly lit scanning facility, stood Iscarius the Golden, his towering form clad in exquisitely ornate warplate that gleamed malevolently under flickering lights. His grotesque magnificence was marred only by his expression of pure, incandescent fury. Gripped in Iscarius's iron fist, feet dangling uselessly in midair, was Brother Varenis, a valiant marine from Sergeant Hoffniel's kill team. "Your little trick with the access codes was futile," Iscarius snarled disdainfully at the struggling Absolver. "We already have infiltrators aboard Jackal Varonius's ship, the Ducal Circlet. The next piece of the relic archaeotech will soon be ours." Without another word, he swung his foul, festering plague axe, neatly severing Varenis's head. Seizing the moment, Castor surged forward with a raw, relic blade crackling with righteous fury. He collided with the Terminator on the verge of executing the scouts, blade plunging through corrupted armor and halting the impending slaughter. But in that instant, sparks erupted violently from Iscarius's armor, his enormous frame propelled forward by some foul sorcery. With a brutal, unstoppable charge, he cleaved into Castor's chest plate, inflicting a grievous, festering wound with his plague axe. "Enjoy grandfather's gift," Iscarius sneered venomously. Suddenly, alarm sirens blared, echoing urgently through the station. A mechanical voice announced the loss of primary power, the station now relying on emergency reserves to maintain life support. Iscarius smiled cruelly, turning to the remaining Terminators. "Dispose of this pathetic filth while I claim our prize," he commanded, pulling out an artifact similar to Macintus's and vanishing in a sinister warp flash. Chaos erupted as the kill team engaged. Lucas dashed towards Castor, shouting urgent orders as the scouts desperately attempted to stem the corruption seeping from Castor's wound. Castor, drawing on every ounce of his remaining strength, whispered a fervent prayer to the Emperor and with a final surge of will, drove his blade deep into the wounded Terminator, who fell dead at his feet before Castor himself collapsed, unconscious. Arion unleashed a molten beam, scorching through two Terminators before being overwhelmed by retaliatory fire, crumpling but not slain. Sarpenthis, locked in brutal combat with another Terminator, armed with lightning claws, fought savagely but ultimately succumbed, his body slumping to the ground, incapacitated but alive. Nersus's sniper rifle barked sharply, silencing another enemy bearing a fearsome accelerator autocannon. Luces finally reached Castor, his skilled hands frantically working to contain the rampant infection. Sergeant Hoffniel's team, spurred by urgency and fury, rallied to eliminate the last of the Terminators. Luces quickly administered to Arion and Sarpenthis, bringing them back to their feet while desperately maintaining Castor's tenuous grip on life. "We must restore power," Sergeant Hoffniel commanded, urgency sharpening his tone. Sarpenthis, refusing to concede, hefted a fallen Terminator's massive body and rammed it against the door to the power distribution center, causing the metal to buckle. Incendax, working rapidly, bypassed the door's security, but the warped metal required the collective might of the entire team to force open. Inside, two twisted, possessed Chaos Space Marines lunged at them. The ensuing combat was fierce but swift, ending with the corrupted Marines slain. Incendax hastily restored one power generator, though dread gripped their hearts. The repair seemed too late, confirmed by a distant, mocking warp flash as they entered the hangar bay. Before retreating to the Thunderhawk, Luces solemnly recovered the precious gene seed of Brother Varenis. Sergeant Hoffniel's team resolved to remain and assist the surviving station crew in regaining control. Gravely wounded, Castor was carried aboard, his life hanging precariously in the balance, his brothers uncertain whether he would survive the horrific infection that now ravaged his body.